Hey there, in today's video, I'm going to review the North Face Summit Vectiv Pro 3 trail running shoe. I'm making this video because I previously bought the Summit Vectiv Pro 2, one of my favorite all-time shoes. I love these. I ran the Jack and Jill downhill marathon near Seattle in Washington in them, a gravel and trail run. It was super, really love them. I wanted to buy the Summit Vectiv Pro 3. They were sort of on the horizon for this year, and I wanted them for the Gap of Dunloe half marathon in County Kerry in Ireland, a hilly half marathon. When they came out, they didn't have them in my size. Time passed, and then they sent me, well, the North Face sent me a 20% discount for my birthday, and I thought, yeah, I'll get a pair, and here they are. Now, as always, this video might be long. There are chapter markers down below, so you can skip on through to the bits you might be interested in. Let's get going. To test the shoe, I ran 25 kilometers straight out of the box to get the feel of the shoe. Then I ran another 25k in a variety of different runs at different speeds. I ran on the road, I ran on sand, I ran on gravel, I ran on rocks, I ran on trails. I did easy pace. I also did 3 minutes flat out one day and then 20 minutes flat out another day as part of my regular testing, but also to see how the shoe went at faster speeds. Let's put the shoe on the turntable and look at the specifications. The North Face say that the shoe weighs 294 grams, 10.37 ounces. This shoe is US men's 13, US women's 14.5, EU 48, UK 12, CM 31, CN 310 in brackets 2.5. In this size, it weighs in the left shoe 372 grams, 13.12 ounces. In the right shoe, 367 grams, 12.95 ounces. It has a 37 millimeter stack height. It has a 6 millimeter drop. The North Face say this: the Summit Vectiv Pro 3 trail running shoes are engineered to deliver uncompromising top-level performance during ultra races on single-track trail. Super high rebound Dream Foam helps propel you towards the finish line, while the seamless, breathable upper is supportive, hydrophobic, and quick-drying. And the super grippy trail-optimized surface control rubber outsole and rockered midsole geometry guarantee reliable grip on all surfaces. Let's review the shoe and see if what the North Face says is true. To talk about the upper, I'll stick the light in first and a camera so you'll see how well ventilated it is. You can see the light coming through the little holes in around the structure of the shoe, and then you'll see from the camera, it's a well-vented shoe. The North Face say the shoe is hydrophobic and quick-drying, and the little holes will allow the shoe to breathe. I'd actually have liked some drain holes lower down because I do actually want to run. I have a run plan where I want to run through some water, and I actually would love to run in these. Maybe I'll cut some holes, who knows. The tongue is nice. It's different from the last tongue, which was softly padded. This has a sort of, it's thinner maybe to save weight. It has a pass through. I really do like these type of laces on the shoe. They're kind of like the Nike laces where they have the sort of little ridges on them to stop them untying. The heel has changed. It's sort of dipped now. In the previous one, it was higher up and you could use it as a pull tab, not that I do. But yeah, it has changed a little bit in terms of the upper, but not as dramatically as the sole. To talk about the sole, first of all, there are 5 components in the sole, and I'll go to a diagram from the North Face from one of their Far Eastern, Korean or Japanese sites, where you get a good idea of the different layers that are in here. And I'll read something about the different 5 layers because it is actually a complicated sole in this particular shoe. The North Face say the sole unit has a 5-layer structure with dual plates. The first plate is a wing-shaped 3D plate that is a hybrid of TPU and carbon, which suppresses twisting and foot shaking and enhances stability. The second plate is a fork-shaped 3D carbon plate that supports resilience. Between the 2 plates, a 10 millimeter thick Dream Foam is built in to enhance resilience and cushioning. In addition, a lightweight yet highly resilient and cushioned Dream midsole is placed to improve stability and propulsion. The rubber outsole uses surface control that provides high grip on both dry and wet surfaces, designed with a lug pattern that provides greater grip. In the earlier shoe, you could see the carbon plate coming down here. You could also see some carbon up at the back. In this particular shoe, you can see the plate coming down. It's not carbon, but you can see it coming down over the midsole, which is thicker. It's 4 millimeters thicker than the last, which adds additional weight, which we discuss further on. The outsole has 3.5 millimeter lugs and surface control rubber, which is pretty much identical to the Summit Vectiv Pro 2 using the same surface control rubber, which I'm a big fan of. The sizing of the shoe is slightly weird. The North Face say in the Pro 3 it's true to size. They say for the Pro 2 go a half size up. I always find that kind of weird. Just anyway, in the Pro 2, which is a US 13, UK 12, they say that's an EU 47. But in the Pro 3, their US 13, UK 12 is an EU 48. No idea why. I always buy aiming at UK 12 and both fit fine for me. The weight is up slightly. It's noticeable. You can blame the 4mm foam. In this UK 12, they weigh 367 grams, 11.53 ounces versus 327 grams, 12.95 ounces for the version 2. The shoe is slightly heavier than the Nike Ultrafly, which I criticize for being heavy, but it has other things that, for me, make it a much better pick than the Ultrafly, which I sent back. The North Face tell me that there's a 37mm stack and a 6mm drop. The Pro 2 had a 32mm stack. They say there's a 4mm rise, something quite adding up. And also in the Japanese side, it said 39mm stack. So it's somewhere between 36 and 39. In terms of width, that's one of the things I find really interesting. The Pro 3 is 130mm in the forefoot and 100mm at the back. If you compare that to the Metaspeed Sky Paris, that's 110mm in the forefoot and 80mm at the back. If I hold the two of them up here, you can kind of see. So this is a much wider shoe. It's wider around here and it's wider around here, both of which I like in this type of shoe. I love the design of this shoe. This is the only colorway I could find at the moment. It's white, ash, sulfur, and spring green. No doubt more will follow. You can kind of see in the little window, you can see all 5 components on either side. You can see obviously the outsole. You can see the Dream foam. You can see inside, see the yellow Dream foam. You can also see a bit of the carbon plate, and you can see the other plate here and here. The North Face don't make any huge claims about sustainability. They do encourage you to reuse their big cardboard box they sent. It actually looked like it'd been used once before, the outer box. I mean, that's a good thing. The shoe is pretty easy to put on. It opens fairly wide. Once I put them on, I immediately felt the firmness. They were easy to get on, but I didn't use, there was a pull tab on the previous one, none of these, but easy enough to get on, easy enough to tighten up. And as I said, those sort of little grooves on the laces really do help in terms of securing your lace tie. The running feel is really interesting. Initially, the shoe felt firm, a little like the original Vectiv, but not as firm as that shoe. And I don't mind a firm shoe. Those ones were really super narrow. I love the rocker profile on the shoe. And once on the trail, the shoe feel felt dramatically better. It was much different. You could really feel this plate holding it all together. You didn't get that sort of floaty feeling you can get, say, in a Metaspeed Paris or any of the Vaporflies, where they're narrow and there's no binding of the foam, so they do wave around a bit. The 5 components do seem to work together. The fact that the shoe is bigger, certainly when I was running, I could feel it kind of surrounding my foot in a nice way. I did really enjoy that. In the earlier version of the shoe seemed to sag back a little bit more, but that increased 4mm has really changed all that. It is a really nice feel to running this shoe, particularly on trails, but the increased weight for me was noticeable. These are my first Vectivs. You can see they're much narrower. Perhaps they were trying to make them a bit more like a Vaporfly or a Metaspeed Sky or Edge for the trail. But after this one, they went wider, much to my great joy. But these have only 200k in it, and you can see it's very worn at the back. I usually wear here and here. These are quite worn. These are also quite worn, the same at the back. On the new shoe, this is identified as surface control. I'm not sure about the black piece at the back. It feels like it's firmer. Hopefully these will weigh a bit more or wear a bit better, because in this particular shoe, that's the only thing that wore was really in there. But yeah, I'd expect to get, they're going to get abused on the trail. But yeah, 200k is about what I want to keep the shoe in optimum condition. In terms of the cost, they were €250, $250, which is pretty much on par for a premium carbon plate shoe. I did get 20% off as a birthday thing from the North Face. I got 25% from Nike, which I'm hoping to use, 15% from Asics, 10% from On Running, €10 from Adidas. And the price of the shoe is the same as the previous version. And as I said, it is typical of the carbon plate shoe. And the buying experience was really simple, apart from the fact that initially they only came out in maximum size 10. The North Face say running and training is the use case. Like, what else would you be doing? Anyway, that's what they say. Trail running is where it's really targeted, and long distance trail running. I've used its previous 2 generations. Love them for wet road running. The grip is super, and in winter, that's one of the things I'm really looking for, is good wet weather performance. And yeah, these have them in spades. Should you buy the North Face Summit Vectiv Pro 3 trail running shoe? Well, I really like the shoe. If you're running ultra marathons and longer distances over gnarly terrain, you might like that additional 4mm cushioning over its previous version. I think it's a bit like perhaps the Streakfly 2 and Vaporfly 4, where, the Streakfly 2 is designed for smaller distances and the Vaporfly 4 longer distances, and has more foam to give you that additional cushioning. I really liked the feel of the shoe. I really liked running it. I ran, 5 days in a row in it, and I'd run today, only I'm just doing something completely different. But I like them way more than the Nike Ultrafly, which I sent back, that didn't have any pep. These have some pep. Because I live in the city, and for me, I'm mostly going road to trail, I probably prefer the lightweight of the version 2 of the shoe, the Pro 2. It's an ideal road to trail shoe, but essentially they're both great shoes. I'm delighted I have this. It's just a different horse for a different course. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you'd hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff in the description below, and I'm happy to answer any questions you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some great videos there. Until the next video, just keep running along.